What's going on, man? We back with another video. Before we do us anything else, all praise to the Most High. Today we have 15 weird facts you didn't know about Fast and Furious. I guess it's the first one, The Fast and the Furious. Now this is up my alley because I've watched every single movie at least 45,000 times each. Yeah, let's get right into it. I'm calling out all BS. I still want to do this in real life. I don't care. Yes, it's not good, whatever.
Fast and the Furious wasn't supposed to look like this. The original star called it stupid. The script was set in New York with an all-Italian cast. One actress threatened to quit over a love scene. And the guy who wrote it, he says he never saw a dime. These are 15 weird facts about the Fast and the Furious. And the bonus? The woman who was supposed to play Mia is someone you definitely know. Drop it into first. This ride gets rough. Number 1, Timothy Olyphant called the movie stupid and walked away from Dom Toretto.
Good.
Universal wanted Olyphant bad. He'd just come off Gone in 60 Seconds with Nicolas Cage.
Trash.
Another car movie. And the studio figured he was the guy.
Not trash.
They told producers they'd greenlight the film if Olyphant signed on. One problem. He read the script and decided it was beneath him. In interviews, Olyphant has openly admitted he thought the movie would be stupid. That's his word, stupid. So he passed. And here's the thing, he wasn't the only one saying no. Eminem was offered the role of Brian O'Connor but turned it down to make 8 Mile. Mark Wahlberg passed, Christian Bale passed. This movie that would launch a 20-year, $7 billion franchise, nobody wanted in. Producer Neil Moritz had to fight to get Vin Diesel, who at the time had only done supporting roles. Diesel had just finished Pitch Black, and Moritz saw something, but even Diesel needed convincing. He agreed to take the role only after the studio let him go page by page through the script with his own notes. Olyphant thought it was stupid. Diesel thought it was worth fixing. Number 2, the original script was set in New York with an all-white Italian cast. When screenwriter David Ayer got the script, it looked nothing like the movie you know. The setting was New York. The characters were Italian. The street racing was an afterthought. Ayer looked at it and said no. He told the studio he wouldn't touch it unless he could move it to Los Angeles and rewrite it to reflect the city he actually grew up in. Ayer spent his teenage years in South Central LA. He went to high school in the Rampart district. He knew what the streets looked like, and it wasn't a bunch of Italian kids in Manhattan. So he rewrote the whole thing. He brought in the diversity, he brought in the tuner culture, he brought in the details about modding cars that only real gearheads would know. And here's the kicker. That same year, 2001, Ayer also wrote Training Day. Denzel Washington won an Oscar for that one. But the Fast and Furious franchise? Ayer says he has nothing to show for it. No back end, no residuals, nothing. Biggest franchise in Hollywood, and the guy who made it what it is got paid once and never again. Number 3, Paul Walker pitched the movie as Days of Thunder meets Donnie Brasco. Walker had just worked with director Rob Cohen on The Skulls. Cohen liked him enough to ask what his dream project would be. Walker didn't hesitate. He wanted to do a movie with fast cars like Days of Thunder, but with an undercover cop angle like Donnie Brasco, a guy who infiltrates a world he's supposed to take down, then starts to fall in love with it. Cohen was already circling a 1998 Vibe magazine article called Racer X about the underground street racing scene in New York. Walker's pitch clicked. The two ideas merged, and Walker signed on before there was even a finished script. He believed in the concept that much.
Yes, sir.
Number 4, Michelle Rodriguez and Jordana Brewster didn't have driver's licenses.
What?
Keep it steady. Not learner's permits, not expired licenses, nothing. Neither actress had ever been legally behind the wheel before production started for a movie about street racing. The studio gave them one shot, pass your driving tests or get recast. Both women took intensive driving lessons during production and both passed. Rodriguez would later say she learned to drive specifically for this role. So when you watch Letty weaving through traffic and pulling off stunts, remember, a few months earlier, she couldn't legally drive to the grocery store. Number 5, Michelle Rodriguez refused to play Letty as written and threatened to quit.
You want ass, why don't you hit Hollywood Boulevard? You want an adrenaline rush? It'll be too large.
The original Letty was a trophy girlfriend. She existed to look good on Dom's arm and not much else. Rodriguez read the script and told producers flat out, no, she wasn't playing that. Co-star Jordana Brewster remembered it clearly. Rodriguez said, no, I'm not playing that, and then she changed the character completely. But it got worse. The original script also included a love triangle where Letty would cheat on Dom with Brian. Rodriguez lost it. She told the studio she would rather quit and get sued than play that scene in front of millions of people. Her exact words? I'm not going to be a slut in front of millions of people, so you're going to lose me if you don't change this. Vin Diesel backed her up. The writers caved. The love triangle got cut. Letty became a fighter instead of a prop, and Brian's romance got shifted to Mia. One actress refusing to play a stereotype rewrote the entire emotional core of the franchise. Number 6, Ja Rule turned down $500,000 for the sequel, and Ludacris took his career.
Ja Rule just can't stop ever taking L's, can he? You just can't ever stop taking L's, can you? You know, how Flight used to be called the walking L? That's Ja Rule. That's Ja Rule. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't never seen him take a W.
First film. You remember him. The guy who talked trash to Brian before the race, got his hand placed on a woman's chest, lost the race, and got humiliated in front of everybody. He got paid $15,000 for that role. When director John Singleton came on board for Too Fast, Too Furious, he wanted Ja Rule back. The plan was to redeem Edwin, give him a real arc. Singleton offered him $500,000. Ja Rule wouldn't even return his calls. Singleton later said Ja Rule got too big for himself. This was 2002. Murder Inc. was printing money. Ja Rule had hits with Jennifer Lopez and Ashanti. He thought he was above a car movie sequel, so Singleton pivoted. He called Ludacris. Luda picked up on the first ring. Singleton created a brand new character for him, Tej Parker, and Ludacris has appeared in every single sequel since. The franchise has made over $7 billion. Ludacris has earned north of $20 million from it. Ja Rule? He did Scary Movie 3 instead. And here's the part that really stings. Andre 3000 also auditioned for that role. He was so nervous he bombed it. He's talked about it publicly, said he wouldn't have hired himself. So the role that launched Ludacris into movie stardom almost went to Ja Rule, almost went to Andre 3000, and ended up defining a career that neither of them got.
Number 7. The title came from a 1954 Roger Corman movie, and Corman traded it for stock footage. The movie went through a lot of names: Redline, Racer X, Race Wars, Street Wars. None of them stuck. Then producer Neil Moritz was watching a documentary about legendary B-movie producer Roger Corman, and he saw a clip from a 1954 film called The Fast and the Furious. That one was about a fugitive who kidnaps a woman and enters her car in a race to escape to Mexico. Different movie entirely. But Moritz heard the title and knew immediately. He called the head of marketing at Universal the next morning and said, "I've got the title, The Fast and the Furious." Dead silence on the other end. But a few hours later, they called back and agreed. Now they just had to get it from Corman. Most studios would have written a check. Corman didn't want cash. He wanted something better. Universal had a massive stock footage library, and Corman made movies on shoestring budgets. He traded the title for access to that library. Years later, Corman used footage from the TV show Spartacus for a Sci-Fi Channel movie called Cyclops. That's the deal. One of the most valuable franchise names in cinema history, traded for clips Corman could splice into low-budget creature features. Number 8. The movie is basically Point Break with cars, and the director knew it. Undercover cop infiltrates a criminal crew.
What's your favorite cop,
led by a charismatic alpha male who lives for an extreme sport. The cop falls for someone in the crew's inner circle. The cop starts questioning his loyalties. That's Point Break. That's also The Fast and the Furious. Beat for beat. Keanu Reeves becomes Paul Walker. Patrick Swayze becomes Vin Diesel. Surfing becomes street racing. The writers never publicly admitted how much they borrowed from Catherine Bigelow's 1991 film, but director Rob Cohen clearly knew. He snuck in a direct reference. In Point Break, there's a scene at Neptune's Net, a real seafood restaurant on the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu. It's where Johnny Utah meets Tyler. In The Fast and the Furious, Dom and Brian go to the exact same restaurant. Same location, same booth shots.
That's
not a coincidence, that's a wink. Number 9. Paul Walker and Vin Diesel actually fled from police at a real street race.
Paul grew up in LA and was accustomed to that. And I wasn't. So I remember when the helicopters came, I'm like, well, which way do you run?
To prepare for their roles, Walker and Diesel went to an actual illegal street race in Los Angeles. They wanted to see the culture up close. What they got was a little too close. Police helicopters showed up to break it up, and Walker and Diesel had to flee down a dark alley to avoid getting caught. They weren't acting, they were genuinely running from the cops, and they liked the experience so much, they insisted a similar scene get written into the movie. The moment where Brian rescues Dom in his car and the two of them escape together, that became the foundation of their on-screen friendship. It happened because the actors lived it for real first. Number 10. 78 cars were wrecked during production, and Race Wars was filmed in 100-degree heat.
It looked like
78 cars destroyed, on camera and off. 3 of them got wrecks just in the trailer. The production went through vehicles like most movies go through coffee cups. And then there was Race Wars, that massive desert sequence with all the cars and the crowds, filmed over 5 days at San Bernardino International Airport. Temperatures hit 100 degrees. Technical advisor Craig Lieberman was on set the whole time. He said the production brought in 35 cars and over 1,500 real car enthusiasts as extras. These weren't actors, these were actual members of the import tuners scene who showed up with their own rides. That crowd you see on screen, those are real gearheads baking in the desert sun watching real races go down. The energy wasn't manufactured, it was just expensive to capture.
Bruh, I'm telling you, like when you watch the movie, I believe all this because it's a certain level of authenticity that come with it that wasn't in, I'd say, from Fast 5 on down the line, that wasn't there. But everything before Fast 5, bro, it's a certain level of authenticity that make you really believe it. I'm telling you, bro, that's what made me fall in love with the movie when I was younger in the first place.
Number 11. The technical advisor's personal cars became the movie's hero cars. Craig Lieberman wasn't looking for Hollywood. Hollywood found him. He was
That's the reason I live my life the way I do.
Car show when
a quarter mile at a time
approached him. At the time, Lieberman worked for a magazine covering the tuner scene. He had connections. He knew the culture. The studio hired him as technical advisor, and then they rented his actual cars. That orange Supra that Brian drives, Lieberman's personal vehicle. The blue Nissan Maxima that Vince drives, also his. Later, for the sequel, they rented his R34 Skyline too. His Supra wasn't just a prop. On the dyno, it made nearly 670 horsepower.
Yeah, I believe it. That 2JZ.
Universal changed the paint and graphics for filming, then compensated Lieberman to restore his cars afterward. He kept the Skyline. And if you look closely during the Race Wars scene, you can spot him on screen. He's the guy flagging the start of the races. He calls himself the pudgy white flagger guy. His cars became icons. He became a footnote. But he's still out there, running a YouTube channel and a website breaking down every detail about every car in the first 2 films. The guy who built the Supra knows more about these movies than most of the people who made them. Number 12. Noel Guglielmi has played a character named Hector in at least 8 unrelated projects.
That's your name, Noel. He's a real cool dude in real life. I met him and seen that Supra and the Eclipse at the same time.
What's up, man? I'm gonna need you to hook me up. 3 of everything. I made a list.
You remember Hector. He runs the races. He introduces himself to Brian. Noel Guglielmi played him, and then Guglielmi kept playing Hector. Not the same character, different Hectors, in completely unrelated movies and TV shows, at least 8 times. Fans started calling it the Hector Cinematic Universe. Guglielmi says it started as a coincidence. He once joked, in Hollywood they only know 2 names for Latino actors, Hector and Carlos. 90% of the scripts he got used one or the other. But at some point, he leaned into it. Now, whenever he has the power to keep the name, he keeps it Hector. It's become his brand. He also appeared in Training Day. Same year, same screenwriter, David Ayer. Different character that time. But in the Fast universe, Hector returned for Furious 7. He was supposed to have a bigger role, maybe even join the family. The script got rewritten. He ended up getting punched by Letty. That's the Hector legacy. 1 name, 8 projects. 1 cinematic universe nobody asked for, but everybody respects. Number 13. Rick Yoon went from Johnny Tran to James Bond villain in 1 year. Johnny Tran was the antagonist of the first film, Vietnamese gang leader, Dom's rival, the guy with the black Honda S2000 and the itchy trigger finger. Rick Yoon played him with ice-cold precision.
That S2000,
1 year later,
something
he was
serious.
standing opposite Pierce Brosnan in Die Another Day as Zhao, a North Korean terrorist with diamonds embedded in his face. That's not a metaphor. The character's face was literally full of diamonds from a botched explosion. Yoon went from street racer to Bond villain in 12
That's the
months,
coolest
and his
villain
background
ever.
made it even stranger. Before acting, Yoon was a hedge fund trader at SAC Capital. He had a finance degree from Wharton. He was also a former Golden Gloves boxer and competed in Taekwondo at an Olympic level. The same year he got blown up by Pierce Brosnan, People magazine voted him one of the sexiest men alive. Johnny Tran died at the end of the first Fast and Furious. Rick Yoon's career was just getting started. Number 14. Ted Levine went from Buffalo Bill to Sergeant Tanner and also voiced Joyride.
Mashimoto ZX tires, so we know that it's somebody in the street racing world.
Ted Levine played Sergeant Tanner, Brian's superior officer at the LAPD. If his voice sounded familiar, it's because 10 years earlier, he terrified the world as Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. It rubs the lotion on its skin. That was Levine. After Lambs, he got typecast as villains and psychopaths. He took the Tanner role partly to show he could play a normal authority figure, just a cop. No murder basement. But here's the twist. That same year, 2001, Levine did uncredited voice work in another Paul Walker movie, Joyride. He played Rusty Nail, the psychopathic trucker who terrorizes Walker and Steve Zahn over a CB radio. So in 2001 alone, Levine played Paul Walker's boss and Paul Walker's tormentor. One was credited, one wasn't. Both were unforgettable.
Number 15. Vin Diesel turned down $25 million for the sequel because he thought it would ruin the original.
Good.
That always, studio scripts in my mind always present a challenge.
After the first film became a hit, Universal...
In my mind always present. Alright, good. I ain't gonna lie, because Too Fast, Too Furious did exactly what it was supposed to do. Paul Walker, he the reason that it is what it is. Let's just keep it 100. Keep it a whole 100. He was the main person that made the first movie what it was, and the person that pivoted the second movie to make it something else, but still make it great. Stuff happened for a reason. It's a good thing your ass ain't bring your ass back, because if that was the case, would they have went and got Tyrese, which was a great addition.
Offered Diesel $25 million to
and you
return
turned it
for
down
Too
and
Fast
ended up
Furious.
coming back
He said
anyway.
no. At a dinner celebrating the first movie's success, someone suggested doing it again. Diesel told everyone at the table they couldn't touch it. He thought the first film had a chance to become a classic, something like Rebel Without a Cause. He didn't want a rushed sequel to ruin that legacy. He said if they were going to do a sequel, they had to do it like Francis Ford Coppola, like a literally great. The studio didn't agree, so Diesel walked. He only came back after negotiating producer credit and creative control, starting with a cameo in Tokyo Drift. The franchise he once protected from itself is
had a
now
cameo?
11 films deep and worth over $7 billion.
Oh, he did have a cameo at the end of the
Diesel owns a piece
movie.
of all of it. And the bonus,
Oh.
Nia Toretto was originally written for Eliza Dushku. The role of Dom's sister was supposed to go to Dushku. She passed. Then Sarah Michelle
Dang.
Gellar auditioned, then Jessica Biel, then Kirsten Dunst, then Natalie Portman. All of them either passed or didn't land the part. Jordana Brewster finally got it.
Perfect
Remember,
for the part.
she didn't
Everything
even have a
worked out
driver's
perfect for
license.
this.
5 actresses turned down or lost the role before the woman who couldn't legally drive became the emotional center of the Toretto family. A movie that almost starred Timothy Olyphant, a script that almost stayed in New York, a franchise that almost lost its title to a 1954 B movie and its biggest star to his own pride. 78 wrecked cars, 100-degree desert heat, real cops chasing the real actors, and a woman who refused to be a trophy girlfriend, rewriting the entire thing from the inside out. The Fast and the Furious wasn't supposed to work. It worked anyway, and 20 years later, it still hasn't stopped. Thanks for watching.
Yes, sir. Man, that's gonna do it for this video. Before I leave, though, if y'all make another one, I think they are gonna make another one. Where's the casting calls? It's not fair. It's not fair. The movie was made in the year I was born. It was first dropped in the year I was born, and it literally changed my life. It literally changed the course of my life. That movie has so much inspiration on my life. If y'all don't put me in there, it's not fair, bro. I'm suing somebody. I got to sue somebody. Shit. Emotional distress. Defamation of character. I don't know, man. I don't got to be done. Whatever, man. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I feel like this is the best movie franchise ever. I think who started making it? Michael Bay. Boy. Never mind. Anyway, y'all eat fruit, get you some money, and it's one of them days, I guess. Catch y'all in the next one.